Okay, so imagine a world where bridges are like super light and buildings, like you can make them into any crazy shape you can think of.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying we can do with this textile reinforced concrete.
TRC.
Yeah,
That's
TRC.
pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and you had a bunch of questions about it. So we're doing a deep dive on it today, right? We're looking at this research paper that's all about how engineers are like figuring out how to actually design stuff with TRC and how do they know that? Like the stuff they build is going to actually hold up in the real world.
Well, that's the real challenge,
Yeah.
right? Like anyone can come up with some new material, but actually making sure that it's safe to use for a bridge or, a skyscraper,
Yeah,
that's a whole other story.
totally. So let's start with like the basics.
Okay.
When I hear textile reinforced concrete, like I'm picturing concrete with like fabric in it.
Uh-huh.
Am I on the right track?
You're closer than you think. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's like imagine fine-grained concrete, and then you've got these layers of like really high-strength textiles embedded in it.
Okay, so not just like any old fabric?
No, no, no.
What kind of textiles are we talking here?
So we're talking things like AR glass, carbon fiber, basalt.
Wow.
And you can even combine them sometimes to make these like hybrid textiles, each with their own kind of properties.
That's cool. So there's got to be a reason why we're using these fancy fabrics, right? It's not just to like make the concrete look nice or something.
No, not at all. It's all about the tensile strength that these textiles bring to the concrete.
Okay, hold on. Tensile strength, remind me what that is again?
So imagine a tug of war, right?
Okay.
Tensile strength is how much pulling force that rope, or in this case, the material, can withstand before it breaks.
Gotcha.
And like regular concrete, it's great at handling compression, like when it's being squeezed,
Right.
but it's not so good when it's being pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And so the textiles, they're like these tiny little reinforcements inside the concrete,
Mm-hmm.
and they make it way stronger when it comes to resisting those pulling forces.
Just like giving concrete like an internal support system.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. But the paper also mentioned something called flexural strength.
Yeah,
Is that related?
it is, but it's not exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Flexural strength is about how a material handles bending.
Oh. Okay.
So like, think of a diving board. It needs to bend without breaking, right, when someone jumps on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
But why is flexural strength such a big deal for TRC?
well, because, you see, even though those textiles make TRC super strong under tension,
Right.
trying to predict how it's going to behave under, like, bending,
Mm-hmm.
or we call those flexural loads, it gets a lot more complicated.
Wait, why is bending more complex than just pulling? I mean, isn't it all just like forces acting on the material?
Well, yeah, you'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But when TRC bends the way that, like, the cracks form and how the stresses are distributed within the material,